Well, this is Major General, and we're playing the Battle of Coldharbour. You'll notice I pumped all of my 3-star units up to 1450. My 2-star units are 1500, and that's because I know I'm going to take some casualties in this. And I do want to start pumping up my army in size for Richmond, because I think that I'm going to be able to have a larger army. Now you'll notice I only have 6 divisions, and the reason I only have 6 divisions is because that's all that's going to fight. In fact, all of these units aren't going to come into the battle. So yeah, 1861s and all the way across until the end where there's CS Richmonds. I have a light artillery force in this battle because this is mostly an infantry fight. Infantry just has to hold and then attack and take a position. You have to take 2 flags. So I have a very good inventory of weapons, as you can see. And yeah, ridiculous number, 55 24-pound howitzers. And yeah, it's 65 10-pound ordnances. Yeah, and I have built a cav division. So have a complete cav division. I love melee cav in these endgame battles. And I'd like for my melee cav to get, I have 3 melee units, and I'd like for them to get some experience. So Coldharbour, the enemy force pool is 51 to 56, and I think, I meant to research this and I didn't, but I think the enemy size has been increased. This is patch, 1.1, I think, and 19,050, I was able to experiment a bit to get to the to make that number go up, but I had to build a lot of units. I had to build like almost an entire 4th Corps, to hit scaling. So I'm way below scaling. But still, 1950 is pretty big. It says I'm going in with 52,000. Okay. But that has 3rd and 4th Corps, which are not going to play. So I don't know. I guess my army is maybe 35,000 or something that's actually going to play. I don't know. I brought in a bunch of melee heavy units because this is you occupy the fortifications, and these fortifications are pretty good. And I have 1 unit that is really high marksmanship with 1863s. The unit with very high marksmanship, his job is to fire supporting fire into any units that get into melee. And yeah, these units are going to get a lot of kills in this battle. So I've broken off a detached skirmisher in case someone gets on the right side too far and I can't get my infantry over there. At least that unit can provide some supporting fire. The enemy is going to get reinforcements. I already know that. So here they come. And it looks like they have 12, 13, 15, 15,000. I think I see in Coldharbour some, or 1,500. I think I see some units with 1,600. So, my thought is that 1950 is a little higher than what I've seen before. I've watched this game on Legendary and at earlier versions of the game, and I've played this on earlier versions with the last time I came here on regular difficulty, I had 150,000 men. So, but I think the enemy force that you face in phase 1 is only about 11, 12,000. It's smaller than what I'm facing here. And I've seen this on Legendary and earlier versions of the game, and I think that again it's a smaller army. So maybe the devs increase the size of the army, the enemy army in Coldharbour, to make it more interesting. I don't know. Anyway, on normal difficulty, if you watched me play that, there's a way to drag the battle out so 4th and 5th Corps can come into the battle. I don't do that here. I'm just going to end the battle as quickly as possible, and that is, I think you have to take 2 flags on this map and 1 victory location on the other map. There are 2 maps you have to fight on. And I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do it in the shortest amount of time, which is what most people do. So here comes the enemy for their first charge, and I'm really thrilled. They're about to hit the Iron Brigade, which has the highest melee factor, and they're just going to get stomped. And it's really fun to watch this. Watch his numbers just drop. I mean, getting into melee with the Iron Brigade is just crazy. The bad news is I just lost Major General Gibbon, and he was certain to get his 3rd star in this battle. He was like at 99 and on the command line, and he was certain to get his 3rd star. So even though he only had 2 stars, basically I just lost a 3-star general with that charge. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that. If that happens to you, it's perfectly reasonable to re-roll that. And losing your best 2-star general, crazy. So yeah, I just lost my best, I just basically lost a 3-star general, and I don't have that many, so that hurt. So yeah, remember all these guys have perks in, let's see, the 2nd perk is in melee and the 3rd perk is also in melee. So everybody's melee is somewhere around, I think 35 maybe, 35 to 40, which is very good, except the Iron Brigade, which is, ridiculous. It comes in with 100. And now the Iron Brigade is probably, I've been putting a lot of raw recruits in there, but I would imagine he's still about 70 melee, which is, he's just not going to lose. Although the general can still get killed. So if you get that random die roll and it goes against you. Yeah, I think if I had to do it again, I think I'd have given all of these guys 1863s. A couple of them have 1861s. It's a slightly faster fire rate, and they do slightly more damage. And, might have been worthwhile to have. So keep the ammo wagon moving, keep the commander buffing morale. And the commander is also giving +10 cover, so that's not a completely insignificant thing. Okay, here come more units to melee. Yeah, the Iron Brigade already has 600 kills. That's just sweet. Yeah, I think if you come in here with 2-star units, I think there's a very good chance that this enemy force would overrun 1 or 2 of your forts, and I don't think it takes much to do that. I think the only reason these forts are held as easily as they are is because these are 3-star units. So okay, at this point, the enemy looks like he's kind of lost enthusiasm for melee combat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge my 1863s into the Iron Brigade, and I can always demerge them if, one of my flanks gets attacked and I have to rush reinforcements somewhere. So, but I'm going to go ahead and move him into the Iron Brigade just so that the Iron Brigade has a commander. And also, the 1863s can get some experience, because right now they're just sitting behind the line doing nothing. So Yeah, they only have 100 kills. And, you know, this is a big deal. And Fort Stevens, it becomes even a bigger deal. The fortifications are now pretty good. From this point on, the fortifications are pretty good. And putting your units inside fortifications now is a good idea, where before it was a terrible idea. Now it's a good idea, and you can rack up a ton of kills. And in Fort Stevens, which is the follow-on battle, I make the mistake of letting the Allied units spend too much time in the fortifications, and my units set in reserve and don't rack up kills. And so then when I check how many kills the friendly units have and their losses, they're getting like 16-1, and they have 1,600 kills, and those are kills that I could have racked up for my units. So the big takeaway is at Coldharbour and after, if you can occupy forts, it's no longer the death sentence that it was in the early and mid game. These are actually really good fortifications. Like this guy right now is closing in on 1,300 kills and has lost 117. Let's subtract 20% for medicine. This unit has lost less than 100 men, and it already has almost 1,300 kills. And here's the Iron Brigade. Yeah, this is going to be fun. So I'm going to click on the unit and watch the numbers just rocket. Watch the numbers. It's just spinning as fast as it can. 13, 14, 1450, 1,600. I mean, yeah, just stand in there, one unit after another. And the morale of my unit is like 96, and yeah, it's just, this unit is just racking up kills. 1,600, yeah, just keep, you know, just keep piling in there, and just keep, yeah, this is golden. I mean, 1,700, look at that, the number's just spinning up and up. 1,800. And 1,900. Yeah, that's just... Boy, let's do some more of that. Okay, my 4th division is my Cav division. If you've played this before, you know that your reinforcements here, if you're holding the line, they don't get to participate. This battle is over in 21 minutes in game, and it's going to take 21 minutes to basically just get to the front line. I guess the reinforcements are there to counterattack if you lose the flag at the last minute, I guess. But otherwise, I can't think, all the times I played this, I can't think of any time the reinforcements came in and did anything significant. I think I'm going to get a few artillery shots, maybe. His units are starting to get really chopped apart. Yeah, I think that unit has 300. The unit that's retreating has 500. Yeah, so his units are really getting torn up. And it's beautiful, because a lot of them are 3-star units, and they're just being devastated. Yeah, I'm going to get the Spencer carbines that have a 176 fire rate, get them in a position to support in case any of my units get meleeed. And maybe get my, yeah, spread out the rifled cav. And this is the best. These parrots can maybe get some shots off. We only have 8 minutes left, so yeah, not a big deal. Trying to get some more units to get some kills, but it's not really happening. So the Iron Brigade and partner now have almost 2,500 kills, and we've just started this thing. So that is just sweet. And there's the add another 400 kills. So yeah, the army is doing well. This is just going as well as it possibly could. Okay, so I lost that commander. That hurts. That really sucks. Yeah, if this had been earlier in the campaign, I would have refought this battle because I'm really bitter about losing my best 2-star general that's about to be 3-star. That's a huge loss. So, okay. I'm going to top off my artillery. Well, I don't think there's... I didn't take any artillery losses. I'm not bashful about adding men to my units, push them back up to size. In most cases, I can add quite a bit with just raw recruits. And that's my strategy for the rest of the game. Add raw recruits. Don't worry about getting any more stars. Don't worry about experience. Add raw recruits. Buy weapons. Give everybody good weapons. Keep the stars you have, but add raw recruits. And I don't know what's going to trigger scaling in Richmond, but I'm thinking it's going to be around 1,500. So yeah, and you can see, I'm trying to get everybody to about 1,500, and I'm doing it pretty much with raw recruits. So it's not costing me anything. I have over 100,000 men. I have lots of weapons. Springfield, 1861s. I think I have 4,000 of them. And yeah, so now the enemy has 20,000. Again, I'm not coming into the battle with 50,000. I don't, that's the entire army. So what you have to do here is you have to hold the 2 flags, and that's what we're going to do. That's what you do this time. You hold the 2 victory locations. Notice how just detaching the skirmisher, I have so much more visibility. I'm really thinking about putting a 3-star skirmisher sniper with every division, or maybe 1 every 2 divisions, just for the visibility it gives you. Because with that 3rd perk, it has really good visibility, and it allows you to see where the enemy army is. So I'm thinking about that for Richmond. I'm thinking about, and ATS talked about this. By the time you get to Richmond, you're so tired of dealing with snipers and micromanaging snipers and keeping them from committing suicide. You just get tired of it. And you just want the campaign to be over by that point. You've invested all the hours into one campaign that you want to, and the campaign's been going on just a little bit too long, and you just want to be done. So, and that's how, I feel every time I get to the end of a campaign. So, usually by this point, any fiddling around I've done with skirmishers and snipers, I'm done with it. But I'm thinking, just for visibility, maybe I'll keep those guys around, because I have 3-star sniper units with JF Browns, and I have a huge inventory of JF Browns. So, maybe not a bad thing. And here, all I'm doing is I'm having people come in and hit this guy in the flank. The enemy size is, again, a little bigger than I thought it was going to be. These are 2-star units, 2nd Corps, and I just want to keep the guys in the wood lines as much as possible and inflict casualties on the enemy. Yeah, that's a 3-star unit. I think I'll just stay out of melee with that guy. So yeah, he seems to have all 3-star units here, which oddly I don't care. I'm going to have a much better position. I'm going to be in the woods, and right now I have a force on the enemy's flank. That's a 3-star 24-pound howitzer getting 50% additional damage with canister, and I'm going to keep moving that guy forward and delivering canister into the enemy, and it's going to be, it's going to be a thing of beauty. So okay, that 3-star unit took lots of flanking fire, and his numbers are now down under 1,000. And we're just going to keep looking for flanking opportunities and stay in good cover, and yeah, just keep degrading the enemy force. Yeah, I moved one of the infantry from my left flank, which is pointless to hold. I really think I should probably have moved all 3 units from the southern position to the northern position, specifically this nice wood line, because there's a hill and marshy area, and if the enemy wants to charge up that hill in marsh, he's going to advance really slowly. And my detached skirmisher is going to do a good job. But if I had 3 infantry in the woods in good cover in that marsh or on that wood line, firing down into units with 0 cover, moving slowly through marshy territory, yeah, that would just be a slaughter. So yeah, that would probably be better. I'm counting on the enemy attacking the fortifications, though, in the south, and my units getting kills right where they are. And I'd rather have the enemy artillery staying to the south around the victory location, their victory location, than focusing on my army to the north. So, okay, let's move the artillery up so we can get canister fire. Everybody's nicely in the woods. Look at that nice cover in the woods, 98%. And these guys that are in the open are on the flank of the enemy force, so this is just going to be fun. I know from having played this before that there's an artillery unit right in the wood line. You know, I've just played this enough. I know there's an artillery unit. There's always an artillery unit right in the wood line, so on the north edge, and there it is. Now I have visibility of it, and if you didn't know he was there, you just saw him. He flashed in and out, so I can go kill him. And Grant also gives +10 cover, so nice bonus for all of my troops. And we can maybe kill the general, and that would be nice. Come on, yes. So that's going to affect the enemy morale pretty drastically. So he's about to be pushed out of the woods, and his units are then going to take more casualties per volley. My units are in the woods. Always a good thing, getting tons of cover, +10 cover for the commander. So yeah, it's all going swimmingly. Well, it's all going well for me. It's going really badly for the AI. So I'm looking at 60 kills, 7 losses. I'll take 10 to 1. That'll be fine. 10 to 1 is good. This guy, 60 kills, 7 losses. That's the 60 versus 7. This guy has 249 to 75. Yeah, let's kill this artillery. So there's kind of a wood line that kind of goes left, then north of the swamp, all the way around. And it's kind of a semicircle, and then you go down to the southern fort. And my goal is just to occupy that wood line, and then he'll be in the open with no cover, and just rack up tons of kills. I don't think there's any point in going for the enemy victory location in the south. I don't think that ends the battle. I don't think it helps you. I think just your units going into the water to get to that objective would just result in a lot of needless casualties. So we're not going to do that. Yep, now all my units are in the woods. My flanking force is now in the woods. And we can just blast away at the enemy almost indefinitely. And the next thing will be to roll the artillery up to get, hopefully, canister, but if not, then exploding shell, which will be better than solid shot on enemy units is a complete waste of time for the 24-pound howitzer. So the 24-pound howitzer needs to move forward. And so that'll be next. As soon as I kill this artillery unit, then I can focus on moving the 24-pound howitzer. Yeah, I think exploding shell gets a 25% additional damage. So my howitzer unit, 13 guns, only has 125 kills. But what he's done to enemy morale is, I think, significant. But there is an argument for bringing maybe another infantry unit instead of the 24-pound howitzer. I don't know. We'll see how he does throughout the battle. But just at those moments when you need to degrade enemy morale, that 24-pound howitzer is priceless. And that's really what I had him there for, is I knew he was going to come in with a lot of very good units, and I wanted to rout them and stay out of melee, and the 24-pound howitzer is just perfect for that function of getting enemy units to just give it up and run away. So, yeah, even these 3-star units, they all routed pretty quickly because they were taking fire from the flank, and the 24-pound howitzer did a good job of pitching in and helping with that. So, even though not a ton of kills, I think it did a good job. Okay, this is great. The enemy is standing in water and in marsh, and boy, if my units can get shots on him, this is just going to be wonderful. Yeah, 394 with 100 losses for that guy. This unit has almost 700 with 100 losses. I'll take 7 to 1. Minus 20%, so yeah, I'll take that. That's actually closer to 10 to 1 with medicine. So yeah, I'll take 10 to 1. I'll be happy with 10 to 1. I can live with that. It's great. 3-star unit just charged right into the water because he saw my skirmishers. That's just priceless. $830 kills. Lost less than 100 with medicine. So, okay, so he's finally attacking here. I'm going to leave units in the detached skirmishers in the fortifications to engage in melee if they get caught in melee. And then my regular infantry is going to fire supporting fire, which means I'll win the melee. So, yeah, we can do that all day too. My units over there finally getting into the battle. Rack up a little experience. That'll be great. Not everybody gets experience in this battle, or gets much. Okay, here come the reinforcements. I don't think they actually do anything. There's 12 minutes in game, so this is the second time the AI has given me reinforcements that I can't use because the battle's going to be over. Again, I guess that these units are brought in case you need them at the last minute to retake the victory location. that might be what they're for, but I'm not really near. They're not really close enough to be able to participate if you are doing well. And this is on Major General, so well, I could not be happier with the enemy just standing in the river. That is just priceless. That is just wonderful. Okay, the guy I had in the fort, the fortification, took some casualties, so I'm gonna have him fall back. I really need to move Grant. Grant is not where he needs to be. So yeah, I'm getting lots and lots of shots on the enemy. Now here's something that just, I'm not going to go on my usual rant, but look at my unit retreating into the enemy position. My unit's routing, and he's routing away from friendly units, away from his chain of command, across a river into the rear of the enemy army. Now there's no reason that that should happen that way. There's no rational reason why any unit would say, hey, we're torn apart. What we need to do is we need to run across this river, where we're going to take canister fire, into the rear of the enemy army where there are tens of thousands of rebels. It's just stupid. I'm not going to go on a rant, but this is something that's been broken with this game since Ultimate General Gettysburg. And it made me rage quit Gettysburg, and every time I see it, just makes me go insanely crazy. I hate it. It's a stupid mechanic. That unit should have retreated to the rear of the Union Army, but somehow the algorithm... Look at that. He retreated right into canister fire. Stupid. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna stop now. But that's the 4,363rd time I have raged about that being broken, and still hasn't been fixed, so... Okay, so yeah, I think we're ready to go. I am looking for something to do with my army, and I can't really think of anything to do. Remember, the ideal size for my units in my mind is 1250. Everybody's over 1250 pretty much, except for a couple of guys. I think about pushing this guy up, but shoot, I don't think so. I don't think it's necessary. So the enemy has 18,000. I have maybe, I don't know how many are here. Probably 22,000. I don't know. All 6 divisions sort of show up, except all the units in all the divisions don't show up. So I've gone ahead and fast forwarded to this part. The enemy, because we're on Major General, advances a couple of units. That's fine. We can fight here for a while. He has pretty good artillery. Oh, also he has Fayettevilles, so that's interesting. So, yeah, a lot of 3-star and 2-star units. He has a pretty good force, and he has 20,000. You have to take him seriously. So this is going to be a fight, and I have to take 2 of his victory locations to win the battle. If I don't take the 2 victory locations, what's going to happen is the maps are going to open up and he's going to get more men. But I'm not. You might have noticed I did not have a 3rd and 4th Division in 2nd Corps. They're in 3rd Corps. So 3rd Corps will come in, but 3rd Corps isn't ready to fight. I didn't make those units the right size or give them the right weapons or good command. It's just a holding area. So that could be a problem. If this map opens up, then I could do it. What I would do is, in camp, I would increase the size of the units and maybe move things around, but it would be a pain in the neck. My plan is, take these 2 victory locations and be done with it. And it turns out it's not that hard. So, yeah, I have my melee cav here, because we're gonna bust a fortified line, just like we're gonna do in Richmond. Well, we're gonna do it in Harrison's Landing. and we're going to do it in... We're not going to do it in Atlanta. At Harrison's Landing and Richmond, we're going to bust fortified lines, and that's why I have built this melee cav. So, unfortunately, I think I only have 2 melee cav, I think, maybe, and the rest of it was my rifled cav, which is not as useful for punching through fortifications. So, I think the game didn't give me... See, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 cav. There are actually 6 cav units in the division, and I didn't get the 6th one, which is a melee unit, which is what I need for this battle. So that's kind of screwed up. So, yep, rolled up the artillery and got the first unit to retreat. That's all to the good. Now we're going to pound on the second unit. Not going to get carried away and charge in there and lose a bunch of men. We're going to advance the army, advance the artillery, stay in good cover, step, 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 and get this guy to retreat. Very happy to see this. The enemy's going to attack down here. And I already, I placed these guys in... I edited that out because it was boring just moving everybody up into position. So all my divisions are together, which is good. That keeps down your... I'm really convinced that keeps down your... it reduces the chance your division commanders are going to die. There's definitely an advantage to keeping your divisions together. So, yeah, this is great. His units are going to walk up here into the open, and I'm backed up by really good artillery, and he's just going to get slaughtered over and over again. It's just easy kills and free experience. The only bad thing is I have an entire division that pretty much defends a position the enemy doesn't want to attack, and 2 things are bad with that. One is they don't get experience, and the second thing is they're oversized, and I think that's going to hurt me in the next 2 side battles because it's going to drive up my average unit size. So I have a whole bunch of units that are 1,500 in size. That's going to screw me up for particularly Harrison's Landing, I think. So get the general up to get the +10 cover. So now I have to start thinking about getting my cav in the right position. For one, breaking this unit, and then the next phase will be breaking the fortifications. And my cav units are going to be crucial for both of those. So yeah, I have a green melee cav unit, and I really want this guy to get some XP. So this is a perfect opportunity for him to jump in and get some experience. And it doesn't take much for this guy to get his first star. So yeah, I just need him to get in there and hit the guy, and then I now have 3 infantry units firing into the fight, and actually 4, because of the way I have the units aligned, and he routs instantly, and that's just terrific. So even though this guy is taking casualties, which I don't really care about because I can replace them with raw recruits, and cav doesn't cost that much. Everyone complains about them costing. They're not that expensive. And I just need him to get his first star. So for the upcoming, well, for the end game, I just need him to get 1. So, and we have another attack coming up, so yeah, let's get everybody move forward and get ready for the next attack. And yeah, I think I'm going to crack this fortified line pretty easily and without too many casualties. So the rifled cav is going to be really important after we break through the enemy line. But breaking through, it's all melee cav. And I have 3 units. I built 4 for this purpose. One of them didn't come in. But I have 3 units. I think next time I play, keeping that in mind, what I'll do is I think you can shuffle units around in camp, and what I would do is I'd move my rifled units to the end slots or just take them out altogether. I don't know. But figure out some way to manipulate the order of units so that I get the units to come in that I want to come in. And the important thing in the center is just keep my units in good cover. That's all I'm trying to do. So I have gone through and found my 2-star units because I want them to lead and take the casualties. The 3-star units pile in after the battle starts. So it's 2-star units, 2-star infantry, melee cav, and then after the enemy's been softened up, my 3-star melee units jump in, and I have a bunch of them, as you can see. I have 8 of these guys, 8 3-star units, and yeah, there's no way that, I mean, this thing is gonna be over in a hurry if I launch these things in the right, if I hit the enemy with the concentrated power of this entire force, and that's the whole idea. And then bringing up the rear, the 2 skirmisher cav or rifled cav. So yeah, it's just it's pretty much going to be easy if you do it in the right, with the right forces, and it is not that terribly expensive. Alternatively, if you do it wrong, you can lose your entire army. I mean, I say it's easy, but if you do it wrong, you can lose, I don't know, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking you could easily lose 10,000 men taking this position if you do it wrong. So what I've decided to do is go ahead and rush the melee cav in to tie up the enemy. And get the enemy into melee, and these units have 100 melee, so that's great. And then detached skirmishers are right behind. Then there's a 2-star infantry that was supposed to be in the front, but he just rolled up and took a shot and stopped. And then my melee infantry piles in, and this should be a done deal. And it is. The melee infantry hits, and the enemy breaks. Easy. So now I'm on the flank of the next fortification. The enemy's actually out of the fortification, and we're going to pile on him and rout him too. And I have the rifled cav now has a really important role to get into the rear of the enemy line and run down and kill routed enemy units. That's their job. Run units down and kill them. While the melee cav stands on top of them, the infantry can't keep up, and so I need the infantry to get off of run, recover some condition, and then walk through these woods for the next phase of the battle. So yeah, move up the artillery, move up the supply wagons, the generals there giving +10 cover. The entire enemy position just collapsed in the north. Easy. Fast and easy. I had placed an infantry in I guess it's a farmhouse, so it gets the additional coverage, cover there. Everybody else should be able to stay in the woods. I'm going to take the... now the next thing is to take the next objective. And so infantry in cover, fire into this unit, and then advance into that wooded area and fire onto the hill where the objective is. While the rest of my infantry walks, not run, down south into this clump of woods. That's to the left of the enemy objective, and that objective will just fall. Yeah, I'm having a terrible time having my rifled cav keep up for some reason. The enemy's retreating so fast, the rifle cav wants to, like, advance for a while and then stop, so you have to micromanage it. Then it'll run up and take a shot, and then it's like it wants to take a shot and then fall back while the enemy's retreating full tilt. So no, just stop falling back to reload. Just keep going forward. So anyway, it all works out. Yeah, notice how the one cav unit just stops. Yeah, they'll fire and then they'll either stop or even fall back to reload. And with a fire rate of 176, just keep going forward and firing. Stop. Yeah, there's... Oh, well, he stopped there because the unit shattered, so okay. Alright, so in the north, the army is advancing. So this guy is 700 and he's routing, and yeah, this should be pretty much a done deal. Yeah, I have to hit pause to get my rifled cav to keep moving forward. And my melee units are getting lots of experience. Okay, I just lost a general. And I think it was one of the cav units. So he was a brigadier general. By the way, I have tons of generals right now. I think I have 10 two-star generals in reserve. Something ridiculous like that. A bunch of brigadier generals. So yeah, losing a brigadier general doesn't hurt very much. But losing that 3-star general, now that hurt. Or the guy who was about to become a 3-star. So yeah, and the whole point of having a big inventory of those guys is to replace generals in camp. Yeah, this is just about over. One of the things I did is I moved some artillery further north. My little force to the south is defending the victory location, but nobody bothered them there. I guess if anybody did, they got hammered. But they really didn't participate very much in the battle. Taking this victory location is a given. I'm having units sit out that have low condition, letting them recover. But this is pretty much a done deal. I've moved up artillery a little bit, but the artillery can't really keep up. And now it's just get kills. I mean, this is all just get kills. The battle is over. I mean, we have 50 minutes to rack up kills, but the battle's over. There's no real... There's nothing left to take. It's just, can you get free kills? And yeah, I can get some free kills in the next 48 minutes. He's in the river. His position is really bad, so... Yeah, I advance. You can see on the right, I advance and he has a unit out in the open. And I play with that unit a little bit because, again, these guys haven't done very much. And he's not going to just rout, so I get out of there and roll up some artillery and infantry in the woods and, you know, get a little smarter about it. I think one of the crucial things when playing Ultimate Generals, look at a situation, and if it's not to your advantage, fall back. Like right here, it's like, no, exchanging shots in the open is, you know, that's, I'm going to get 1-to-1. That's not to my advantage. Let's get this guy out of here. And I think about, you know, moving guys up and hitting this 3-star unit in the flank. No, the right call is just get out. And that's what we end up doing. I take a couple hundred casualties, and, well, the one unit routs, and I have a second unit coming up, and no, I'm not going to... That's a bad position. The right answer is just get out. Yeah, I take way too long to get out, though. And there I finally hit the fallback button. Just get out. You know, make use of the terrain, stay out of the open, roll the artillery up. You know, don't get carried away. Yeah, and you know, it happens. You're winning the battle and you just want to go after them. And you have to take a deep breath and say, no, I'm not going to do that. Like here, I had the unit, had my units hold up, and skirmishers take shots, and finally he breaks. Now I'm in a great position. One of his units just shattered. He was down to 300 men. And the question is, can we get more kills, but also more kills at, say, 5-1? Yeah, my units can... That unit's exhausted, so there's no purpose in having him. He's not doing very much. And I'd like to kill that artillery unit. That would be good. So my cav has basically taken all the casualties I want them to. I'm having them sit out of it. It's getting a little crowded anyway, so should be able to kill this artillery unit. I don't really need to get it in exchange shots with his little pile of infantry. What I can do is roll up the artillery, let the artillery degrade them. That would be good. He is attacking over against the victory location I have. He has 200 and some men, and he's taking canister to the face. That is going to go very, very badly for him. And he's gone. So yeah, that worked out just fine. That's what we like to see. Canister to the face and rout. So 13 minutes. And at this point I'm thinking, can I get kills? Oh, and thanks to Pandakraut for letting me know that units that you capture, you get all of their... You get a higher percentage of their weapons, and you get it at the full size of the unit, and it degrades the enemy force pull more than shattering the unit. So there's a huge advantage to capturing units. And, you know, there'll be about 10 people watch this video, and we'll get that bit of knowledge. Hopefully Pandakraut will make a video or make a post and share that knowledge, because that's really, really good to know. Now there's a mini game that we all can enjoy of seeing how many men we can capture. Apparently there's the algorithm doesn't work perfectly, and so eventually I guess that'll be updated with a patch, because you're supposed to get more men for your manpower pool, degrade the enemy force pool, and get more weapons. So those three things are supposed to happen. I guess they will eventually. That's the intent, and there's something in the algorithm that it doesn't happen perfectly. So anyway, Coldharbour, I did not lose 3,000 men versus 24. That'd be 8-1. I did not do that because I replaced troops during the battle. I'm going to replace troops aggressively during battles, so these numbers are going to be screwed up. But this was a good result, particularly since I was on the attack against entrenched enemy in most of it, except for phase 1 where I was in defense. So the number of kills, that's right. 2,500, 2,200, 2,200, mostly in infantry battle, as you can see. A lot of the infantry, it's all infantry, till you get down to artillery, pretty far down. A lot of units got about 2,000 kills. Again, the casualties are understated, but I don't care. It was a good battle. Got the victory locations that I needed to win, and yeah, the melee cav got the perks they needed and got the kills they needed to now be very good units. The Spencer Carbine should have had some kills. That doesn't look right at all. Got a 3-star. That's terrific. More 2-stars. He had Fayetteville's. I'm going to sell those. That's worth buku bucks. And the Tyler, Texases, and that's just a ton of money. And I captured 1,000 CS Richmonds. I have a big pile of CS Richmonds now, all to the good. And here's the next battle. And let's see, how many do I have? I have 30,000 against 48. Yeah, easy victory. Fort Stevens. That'll be the next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then.